Now we will discuss the elements of building national consensus. As you can see, consensus is applied at almost every step throughout the process to determine national interest, to decide on whether to participate in work, and to establish national positions. The definition of consensus is taken from Clause 2.5.6 of the ISO/IEC Directives Part 1. It reads, "General agreement characterized by the absence of sustained opposition to substantial issues by an important part of the concerned interests, and by a process that involves seeking to take into account the views of all parties concerned and to reconcile any conflicting arguments. Consensus need not apply unanimity." The key aspects of the definition are highlighted on the slide: absence of sustained opposition, by an important part of the concerned interests, take into account the views of all parties, to reconcile any conflicting arguments, and consensus is not the same as unanimity. This means there are cases where not everybody will agree. The definition allows for disagreement, but the leadership must apply the various elements of the definition to assess whether or not there is consensus. The NSB processes around consensus should respect the following principles. All parties are to respect and support the consensus position in ISO activities. This means that, while there may be those that disagreed or continue to disagree with the national consensus position, all parties involved in the process must now respect and support the consensus position once it is established. NSB comments and votes should reflect consensus positions. This means that all positions taken by the NSB, including the comments submitted, should reflect the national position. NSBs should vote to abstain where there is no consensus position. Abstention is a perfectly legitimate position for an NSB to have. Both when considering new fields, when voting is not mandatory, and when the NSB has a P membership in a committee, that is to say, where the NSB is required to vote. At all stages throughout the process, the leadership must hear arguments for and against different positions, try to resolve all differences as early as possible in the process. Some mechanism should be in place for addressing disagreement within the NMC, which is important if there is a continuous disagreement from stakeholders. Some NSBs have a formal mechanism in place. The TMB recommends that this be done and that the formal mechanism be made publicly available. The TMB survey conducted revealed this as one of the best practices.